And here, in the second of the Contender Division matches to kick off the 2013 IPTL Season 1, we have in the bottom left-hand corner from New Star Host, so ladies and gentlemen, it is DTG. Now he's gotten 2 victories, but will he be able to earn the 3rd one here versus in the top right-hand corner from Dream Team Gaming, the Blue Terran player Pulsar.
That's right. So Pulsar, again, another player that I'm not terribly familiar with. He is on the official roster, though, so we were able to verify that, even though I don't know too much about him. And we'll see what his playstyle is. DTG, again, can be very aggressive in this matchup, too. He loves drop play. He loves sneaky counterattacks and marine run-bys and things like that. So, I wonder how Pulsar is going to be able to deal with it, because I can't necessarily comment on Pulsar's strategy.
DTG in a lot of ways reminds me of a Terran version, in the play style, of course, of perhaps a Violet. Violet, he's like, hey, I love actually when your buildings explode and there's smoke everywhere and you can't see, I'm going to burrow 3 Banelings. And just like tricky maneuvers, they're like, I'm going to go for Overlord drops and drop Hydralisks on top of your tank, something that I've seen him do a long time ago back when he was still with Playhem and hadn't yet broken into the scene. But it's a guy who's constantly innovating, coming up with new cool strategies to make work. And, I mean, DTG, man, he's an innovator. He's an innovator at heart.
He's an innovator, and this could be bad for Pulsar, because Pulsar has gone for Command Center first against a gas first. So whereas DTG is going to have something like, possibly this could be a gas first, 1 gas 4 Hellion drop, something like that, or 4 Hellion push with 8 Marines. Or on the flip side, this could be 2 gas fast as possible Cloaked Banshees. In any case, Pulsar is very quickly going to need to prepare himself for some sort of an attack.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice, that he's not going to have to deal with any proxy barracks or anything like that. But in all honesty, like, if you're a Zerg player and you're up against this, you want to get units. You just want to get units out. In this situation, Pulsar, you want to, of course, get speed as well, so you have the ability to see exactly what your opponent's doing. But as a Terran player, as you said, could be facing up against, you could definitely be facing up against Banshees, Hellions. Getting tanks from Pulsar's perspective is a great idea. He can get himself set up against any possible follow-up pushes here. But for now, just see him going for a barracks. No gases even quite yet.
No gases, and we'll see what his possibilities are going to be here in a bit. He can still Engineering Bay missile turrets or something like that if this ends up being Banshees. And how's that? Oh, no, it looks like actually this Marine was able to clear things up. I actually want to take a look at what Pulsar has seen, though. He's got a bunker coming up at the front, but he saw everything. He saw the Super Quick factory. He saw the Super Quick tech lab, which, of course, lifted off from the barracks, and now a starport's being built on it. But, of course, this is the 1 gas variety, so these are going to be uncloaked Banshees, and he will have a relatively quick expand behind this.
Now, without the Engineering Bay from Pulsar, this is slightly nice, because, all right, so you end up going for like a nice defensive posture and just try to utilize the economic advantage that you have. Well, you could be a little vulnerable to the air attacks, but with just Banshees, he's going to have Marines. He's not going to have combat shields, so the Banshees will be two-shotting them, but could rush his way. How's his factory? Does he have a factory started up?
Let me see.
No, he's just going to rely on these turrets instead, which, unfortunately, it's best if they've gone for Cloak to use turrets, but in this situation, he just can't make it to Starport fast enough.
And here's the thing, too, is that, yes, Pulsar is going to stretch a little bit of an economic lead through this, don't get me wrong, but DTG surprisingly has to kill few workers in order to equalize this game. A lot of times you think, oh, you're investing so much into tech, your opponent's going to be miles ahead economically. You can see there's only 1 worker difference between these 2 right now, and a 1 mule difference. So if he gets up there with the Banshee, then let's say he only kills 3 or 4 workers, let's say. He's almost equalized the economic difference, and he's still at a tech advantage overall. His infrastructure may not be where he wants it, but he doesn't have to do that much damage in order to get things done. And he's actually going to take a 3rd command center, which I think Pulsar sees. He does.
Yeah, he just scanned it and got vision of it. But, a lot of this is consequence to Pulsar not going for that ideal tech path. Tank Viking, it just really holds off almost all gas first openings. And, instead he opened with the 2 barracks. And with the 2 barracks, and he didn't have the refineries, he went, really, I don't have any option here except to build an Engineering Bay and turrets, which is just so much less than ideal for Pulsar, and has given DTG a great ability to catch up.
All right, well, Pulsar, let's see if he picks up on this Banshee. It's flying around the side. No, perfect vision for that. And, you know, Pulsar's really well covered because this is the sweet spot, and he actually can't stand there and do any damage because he flies directly over on top of these Marines, gets away, but doesn't kill anything. So Pulsar does get an advantage now.
Yep. Taking a look, actually, can we peek at the worker counts? Because I'm seeing a big supply difference right now. 51 to 39. We see that Pulsar sitting at 36 workers to 30 for Jakji. And he also has 11 Marines to Jakji's 4 now. Jakji, as you said earlier, you know, he's got a lot of tech on his side. But overall, a lot of it does boil down to economy, and this third is going to do work for Jakji and letting him catch up.
That's true, but Pulsar did what he needed to. He didn't take any damage. Yeah, no, the Banshee wasn't killed, but, you know, I mean, just driving it away without taking any losses whatsoever is exactly what he needed to do. So he retains the economic advantage, the infrastructure advantage, even has that much earlier +1 weapons coming up, whereas Jakji is going to be very far behind in those regards. His engineering bay is just finishing, which means he is going to be a full half an upgrade behind his opponent. Kind of expected him to drop down double upgrades or double engineering base and go for a quicker armory because he is going to have the better economy once this orbital command kicks into motion, though.
Stim wrapping up right now for Jakji. He's also going to be starting +1 behind this. Trying to look at what... I mean, Jakji really doesn't have too many aggressive openings for him, you know, with that fast third CC, but Pulsar, on the other hand, I mean, he's throwing down 2 barracks behind this. It's going to time pretty nicely with +1 completing that he'll be able to reinforce across the map if he so desires. 2 medevacs, Stim, Marines. Yeah, he's going to be going for a drop here, most likely. And, you know, combat shields is just starting up, so we'll see if he decides to continue pressuring behind this, but I really do think, I mean, Kevin, with the 2 barracks and still no third command center, the Pulsar wants to try to get some damage in, and he may be able to do that because Jakji has no tanks yet.
Yeah, and hopefully Jakji starts that pretty soon because Siege Tech is already underway. There we go, there's a tank, and he's still quite a bit of gas away from that, from Siege Tech. And there's 100, but no Siege Tech quite yet, so that could actually present a bit of a problem. Now, Jakji doing what Jakji does best, he's going to drop. The issue is that, oh, actually, Banshee gets in there, trying to grab some kills, forces a Stim out of some Marines. The issue is that Pulsar's moving all the way across the map, and it looks like Jakji sees this. Yep. He still decides to drop with one of his medevacs, but he's going to pull this one back home to defend.
He will have the potential for some damage here, but Pulsar's still making a ton of units at home, and what this is, a push from Pulsar, and then another follow-up push that's even more powerful with combat shields, +1 armor, tanks, and siege tech. We'll see if Jakji can get any damage in on Pulsar and try to weaken this follow-up attack, of course, if he can hold off this initial one.
No siege mode, and it's still 35 seconds away. So Pulsar has the potential to get in there and do something. This drop is actually a bit out of vision of Pulsar, and still, okay, they just sees at the very edge, and here come the units. Already kills a couple of workers, kills a lot of workers, as a matter of fact, and picks up and gets out of there. He has not lost a single, but the medevac does fall. Looks like he realized that it was going to go down too and tried to drop down his Marines to inflict a little bit of damage. So was the, you know, the amount of damage he dealt worth that drop?
You know, in a lot of situations, Kevin, it may have been, but in this particular instance, we see that Pulsar is going for a very big attack here in a moment or two. I mean, he's just building up this siege tank count to 3 or 4, and then he's going to be pushing out across the map. In fact, he's throwing down a second factory. He might wait even longer here until he gets to 5, maybe even 6 siege tanks, and then pull all those SCVs and just go for an incredibly strong attack.
Yeah, I think he is. I mean, unless he literally dropped down a command center right there, he's going to make a big all-in push. And Jakji will have a bit of defender's advantage. He's going to have some tanks. He's going to be sitting on the high ground. He's still got a very good infrastructure himself, his own second factory coming up too. So even though he's behind on units, oh boy, here comes the push though. That is a devastating army.
Interesting behind this that Pulsar made a second factory. Maybe he'll be reinforcing with Hellions. We'll wait and see. We can see the tanks still rolling out though. Yeah. Roll it out. That's kind of funny. All right, Tech is not, well, it could get caught here, actually, by these Marines that we see Jakji is dropping down. He's moving into third. He's going to see no third base, and that should clue him in right now.
This is a really nice place for those tanks to be in, though. They can see both ramps. They can see all the ground that's underneath, and I'm curious as to how long Pulsar is going to delay for, and it looks like he's moving back for now. And the entire time, Jakji, he has his economy in place. He's been needing to play catch-up, and if Pulsar delays for much longer, he's going to have all the time he needs to get his defenses in place.
Yeah, he really will. So Pulsar needs to move in. He needs to move in now. He may be able to elevate our troops onto the top of that natural expansion up and to the left. Of course, elevator maneuvers pretty dangerous, but It's one of Pulsar's best options right now, possibly because he does need to fight here. He cannot like go home and just macro out of this. Is he pulling SCVs? I really...
Nope.
I guess, you know what, with the second factory, there's no way he's going to be doing that.
All right, he's just going to gun it. He runs directly into 4 siege tanks, and all of his units are clumped up, and he deals with the front line of units pretty efficiently. Jockji tries to flank from around the side, and it allows his tank to still continue doing damage from the top, and all Jockji has to do is hold. He has an economic advantage, and he's actually going to be in a pretty good spot. Look at that. He's even going to clean up this tank while retaining his on the high ground, and that was exactly what Jockji needed to do. Ooh, but he is losing some workers from around the side. That's pretty bad.
Those Marines still stationed up in the corner for Jockji as well during all of this, but here's the thing. Pulsar, you know, he's got such incredible production capabilities. He's making huge quantities of units right now. Now, we saw Command Center, okay, he is going to be trying to build a third here.
Yeah, but that's actually a problem, and I don't want to say that's a sign of defeat necessarily, but Jockji's miles ahead now.
Yeah, it kind of is.
I mean, Jockji's got 3 bases, he's up by 12 workers, he's got a better economy, his infrastructure is equal to his opponent. Did Pulsar? No, Pulsar went for a 1-1 attack, and Jockji's about to finish 2-2, so Jockji is ahead in almost every single category.
Yep. I don't know what Pulsar couldn't do here, man, but...
I mean, it is TVT. I mean, there is still the possibility that Jockji will run his units up, and looks like he is going to pick off this command center, which is nice. But he could run his units up and run into a siege line and get everything slaughtered. Yeah, that is still a possibility.
Well, he just picked off that third, and that's everything. That's everything now, because now Jockji, he can just sit. He can just sit and chill until he's maxed out. He's not going to do that, I guess. Well, I mean, he can push out here, but as you said, you know, this does create an opportunity, potentially, for Pulsar to kill everything.
Jockji sees that, though. He actually just picked up he knows the entire defensive line. He knows where these siege tanks are at. Oh, I love this. He's got sensor towers to protect himself back at home. And, oh no, Pulsar sees it, though. That's actually pretty bad. Because Jockji would have had an opportunity to move around the side of this army.
I still don't see Jockji losing from here because he's going to play very carefully. He knows that he can throw this game away and only throw it away by walking into Pulsar's army. But if he sits back on 3 bases, Pulsar still does not have a third. He has not even tried to recreate. He just started. Here we go.
Well, Jockji's going to go for it, and all these tanks were actually unsieged, so he does get a pretty good engagement up at the front. His 2-2 upgrades had finished for him, so he carried the upgrade advantage through all of that. Looks like he's going to pick off his opponent's tank, and it looks like he just wants to wrest control of his opponent from the middle of the map, and that's all he needs to do. And there's the unsiege, and I would expect a few units from Jockji. No, actually, everything's just running back towards its Elnog tower. Look how much blood was on the ground.
The coolest double blood rainbow right now going on.
And look at this. You know, Jockji's still in position to deny this base, too. That drop has still not been picked up on.
Yeah. So, I mean, Jockji, he killed off a ton of supply here, and now he can remake units, whereas Pulsar, not so much. He's getting mined out in his main on minerals and is really just getting into a sticky situation. He's not going to be able to resecure this third easily at all.
And Jockji's got his third. I mean, it's been mining away. His fourth just finishes, and that's really, it looks like, what he wanted to do with this, because now he can set up the tank line. He can drop his fourth down over on the right-hand side. Actually, he's going to put that inside this protected base inside the middle. That may actually prompt him to start another orbital command relatively soon.
All right, Pulsar trying to set up something here at the Xel'Naga Tower. It's the one advantage he's currently clinging to, but I don't think it's a big enough advantage as Jockji is just completely encircling his army with tanks.
Yeah, that's pretty gross to have to deal with, too. I mean, Pulsar's going to have a really nice bastion of defense here. Look at this. That's, oh no, they just missed the third. Oh, I thought Jockji was going to see that. That would have been the perfect moment for him to try and get in and do damage.
Oh, but it looks like we have people moving in the middle of the map. Jockji with all these Marines cleaning up the tanks at the top, and his upgrades are just too much. That 2-2 versus the 1-1. And of course, the 3-base economy is going to allow Jockji to pull far enough ahead. He should be able to secure this game.
Oh, well, that's pretty much it, too. The economy of Pulsar is going to be in shambles now as this base gets picked up on again. This forces a stim out of units, but there's so few Marines here. This is almost a situation where there's like a medevac for every Marine that's sitting on there, and Jockji's going to take the opportunity to push into the natural. Great job, great positioning. There's the GG, yo! And Pulsar goes down. Jockji has put NSHO just one game away from taking the set.
Jockji playing smooth and sexy there. You know, early game went for that gas first, found nothing with that Banshee. Pulsar doing pretty good on his defense with the turrets and everything, but then with that double expand out of Jockji, It was really an interesting turn how that game developed.
Well, that's game number 6 in the bag, and the last player for Dream Team Gaming is actually going to pop in, and it's Sickness. Very good Protoss player, and we'll see what he can do here, but this is getting a little bit risky. This is the last player for Dream Team Gaming. He has to come back and kill Jockji and then 2 more NSHO players right afterwards.
Yeah, he's got a lot weighing on his shoulders. It is going to be a Protoss versus Terran. We saw some excellent Protoss play earlier. Anti-Protoss play, we should say, out of Jockji. I don't know how good his Protoss actually is.
He's, I'm sure he's fine in whatever matchup he would choose to concentrate his time on. But anyway, we're going to run to a commercial break. When we get back, it's going to be game number 7 between Dream Team Gaming and NSHO. Sickness versus Jockji, a PVT. See if Jockji can put it away right after this.